Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. Who is he? Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. And who is he? Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. And what he do? And it's gonna react to all the self-snitching.
Hi, this is Bruce Rivers. Welcome to another episode of Criminal Lawyer Reacts. I'm Bruce Rivers, board-certified criminal defense lawyer, where I actually try cases. Today we are reacting to what do we think the cross-examination of Amber Heard is going to entail. Now, the cross-examination of Amber Heard by Johnny's lawyers has got to be artful. You can't go real hard on somebody who's super sympathetic. For example, if you're cross-examining a child witness and you go after them hard, a jury's going to hate your guts and you're going to lose credibility with them. So Amber Heard presents as somebody who's capable. She's an adult. If you listen to some of the recordings, she's violent. And I don't think she's coming off as quite that sympathetic. So I don't know who's going to do the cross-examination of her. Sometimes having a woman cross-examine another woman is ideal. And I think that may be what we have here. Women jurors are particularly hard on other women if they can be catty and they can be really harsh in their judgment when they are of another woman testifying. So if a woman is testifying and a female juror is listening to this and not really buying the story, that's going to bleed into the rest of the case. So her lacking credibility, her meaning Miss Heard, will not only hurt her own counterclaims, but it'll also help Mr. Depp in his claims to begin with. So what do they have to do? What do they have to do? Johnny Depp's lawyers have to, number one, refute the counterclaims. Number two, they also have to discredit her on her claims of abuse. There's going to be a lot of cross-examination on that part of the case. The issue here with Amber Heard is one of efficiency because there's so much material out there and there's so much that they could do. Johnny's lawyers have to defend against the counterclaims, and they also have to discredit her. Those are the two main things that they have to do. And how are they going to do those two things? They're going to do those two things by presenting provable falsities that she's made, and there's so many of them. Let's look at a couple right now.
This was what she used. She became very adept at it. You're going to hear the testimony from Amber about how she had to mix the different colors for the different days of the bruises.
Sitting here today, do you know how much money Ms. Heard has actually donated to the ACLU, actually remitted to the ACLU?
Yes, I do.
How much is that?
So when you say remitted, do you mean direct payments from her personally, or?
One of the things, a witness's demeanor tells more than anything else on the stand. So when Amber Heard is crying on the stand and you don't see any actual tears, that's a tell. And women will know that. Not everybody reacts to trauma the same. Okay, that's pretty. I think that's the literature shows that, and that's just common sense. I mean, I've had witnesses that literally laugh when they get nervous, and you might think that they're being disrespectful, but it's a nervous tick, But what I'm trying to get at here is when Amber Heard's in court and she's crying, and there aren't tears coming out. And she's talking about things that just are irrelevant details, but they're overly enunciated. She can lose credibility. So on cross-examination, you want to bring out two things. One, to show that she was the abuser, and two, that she's a liar. That's what Johnny Depp's lawyers are going to do. So how are they going to do that? Well, there's so many recordings on this that, they've got a real gold mine to bring up. And so what they're going to do is this. You've got the one audio where Johnny Depp is talking to her, and I think this is the most damning video or damning audio that there is out there. Johnny Depp says to her, if this ever gets physical, we have to separate. We have to walk away. And she says to him, I can't promise that I can do that. That's one. I think that's the most damning audio out there for Amber Heard. But we also have other things. She pledges to the ACLU and Children's Hospital $3.5 million each. Johnny Depp made the first $100,000 donation, and then she said on openly that she has done that, but it's just simply not true, and they'll play a portion of her prior statement, and that comes into evidence. And she'll have to say it isn't true, or she's going to spin it and say, well, it's a planned future donation, and she hasn't donated one penny since then. And so when she tries to say that, I 1.3 million of the total donation has been made, she didn't make any of it. Elon Musk and others have made donations in her name. So, but she gives the impression that she's the one donating. That's a mark on her credibility. Then, in her opening statement, Amber's lawyer held up a compact or a makeup kit and said this is what she used for to cover up the scars, cover up the bruising. And it has been shown that particular makeup kit wasn't even manufactured until after they were divorced in 2017. So they'll bring up things like that, and they'll bring up the recordings, and they'll bring up one of her common complaints for Mr. Depp was that he was constantly running away. That will be a recurring theme in cross-examination. And the reason that is so important for the plaintiff in this case and counterclaim defendant, Johnny Depp, the reason that's important is because that shows an utter lack of aggression. It shows a separation. It shows somebody who doesn't want violence. And she's constantly complaining about him doing that. So we kind of see what the mission is for Johnny's team as they go into this week to cross-examine Amber Heard. It'll be an art because there's so much there, but they have to be careful not to ask too many questions, not to ask the wrong question, not to leave her any chance to explain. And then once they're done with that direct or cross-examination, then her lawyers get another opportunity for a redirect. But that redirect examination has to be focused only on what Johnny's team has cross-examined her on. But then Johnny's team gets one more chance on recross, and they narrow. There's ostensibly it could be unlimited. Direct, redirect, recross, redirect, but the issues get narrower as time goes on. So it'll be fascinating to watch. I'll be watching. So when you watch this reaction and you watch the actual cross-examination of Miss Heard, comment, tell us what you think, and subscribe to our channel, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, and we'll see you next time here on Criminal Lawyer Reacts.